There are 2 members of Congress right now who have engaged in sexual harassment.
There is no place for sexual harassment in our society.
Sexual harassment and sexual violence by powerful men has come to light as never before.
A year ago, as the Me Too movement was really kicking off, we started to hear a lot of stories from staffers, past and present, who worked here on Capitol Hill, one of the most powerful workplaces on earth. They said the system for dealing with harassment was broken. And the lawmakers agreed. They talked about passing some reforms and doing so by spring, by summer.
49-24. Those in favor will say aye.
Finally, after months of negotiations, the House and the Senate have passed a plan to overhaul how they deal with harassment in their own ranks.
So I'm very glad that Congress will be taking this important step.
Leaders announced a deal to provide new resources and protections for staff, including for the first time interns who work here by the hundreds. Lawmakers who settled misconduct cases would now be called out by name and required to reimburse the money to taxpayers from their own pockets and purses. Employees would no longer have to wait out a cooling off period to bring a claim. They'd also be allowed to work from home during the process to avoid having to be in the office alongside a harasser.
So I first had experience with this issue as an 18-year-old intern on the Hill. I was sexually harassed by the senator who I was then working for, who was a senior senator at the time.
Last year, as Me Too awareness spread across industries, Coll Steele added her voice to a growing chorus of current and former Capitol Hill staff saying Congress had its own problem. They exposed a common MO, mighty lawmakers and senior staff harassing or assaulting their low-paid young employees with no real fear of getting caught. Steele says she was assaulted at the 2004 Democratic Convention.
I found myself at an evening event and was groped by the member that I was interning for in a group of people during a conversation.
And we learned accused lawmakers had been silencing victims with secret settlements at the expense of taxpayers. All that had to change, said Congresswoman Jackie Speer, who says she was a victim of workplace misconduct as a Hill aide decades ago. She whipped up support for major change.
We're going to make sure that our employees have the safety they deserve.
What do these bills do for victims?
Not much, to be fair.
Attorney Les Alderman has filed dozens of claims for workers in Congress. He says the reforms could have gone much farther.
They're looking for a quick political victory. You know, we've made this change to the harassment law. Yay, we won. Let's go on to something else.
Gone from the final deal was a plan to have an outside investigation of claims. Also missing, free legal representation for accusers instead of only being available for the accused. And lawmakers would not have to reimburse settlements for discrimination cases. It's not public how many settlements are for discrimination, but keep in mind congressional staff filed twice as many requests for help on cases of discrimination than for cases of harassment. That's according to Congress's Office of Compliance. The changes are still a big deal. Coll Steele left her job in corporate law to start a nonprofit, the Purple Campaign. Its mission is to end workplace harassment, beginning with Congress.
As more women become represented in Congress and more younger lawmakers, take seats, I do think we'll see a culture change come out of this moment as well.
She says that moment has not yet passed.